Thank you for coming back to the Hawg Wild Designs YouTube channel. And I'm Mary. Today's project is going to be the little blue Coop. It's a flip out junk journal. And here I have already put one together, so we'll just demonstrate what I mean by flip out. So first thing, it's that it'll flip open. It has a couple little pockets here with some ephemera pieces in there. And it does the same over here on this side. And then it opens up to resemble like a egg hatch where chickens will go in, and this is the roof of it, and you would just lift it up to a chicken in her nester with, of course, some little eggs tucked inside here. We have a couple more pockets with tags and these cute feed sack tags. We have the actual chicken coop here that I also created some pockets with some more ephemera pieces, tags, and journal cards. There's some little tickets in here. You see here we have some stamps that I tucked in the corners. And then this flips down to reveal a bunch of nesting boxes, and I have them filled with tags and eggs. We have some, and then down here is a cascading waterfall where you can make little journal notes, and that folds back up. And then on the, right here, this design also has pockets that you would cover here where the florals are. I chose to do something a little different where I put a piece of lace and made a little tuck spot, and then I embellished up the straw bale with some excelsior and some raffia, and I tucked some raffia behind Martha. Put them both up on foam dots and glued them on. And then on the back side is the back of the coop with a pocket, a hidden pocket here. So we'll just pull this away and you'll see that it's hidden. We have some more ephemera pieces, some feed sacks, a little sentiment. There's another sentiment, sweet and simple. And then here, oopsie, we have another one, another sentiment, Coop love. And then this adorable envelope that you can, there are journal cards inside here. You can tuck journal cards inside. So there's the front, and here is the back. And I just tucked this inside here. You can, place these items wherever you would like. But this is going to be today's project. We will get started here. Hope you enjoy. So in this kit, there's 18 pages in total, and including those 18 pages are two beautiful decorative papers, this floral with some butterflies, and then this chicken wire one. So you could use those to put on the backs of your tags or create other beautiful embellishments for your journal. Take these aside here. So the first thing that I've done is I'm cut out the cover, but you see here that I didn't cut out the entire thing. I wanted to cut out just definitely this tab, and then just a little bit here on the edges, and I did that for both of these. Then this piece is going to be our backer for our coop cover, and I'm going to set these things aside here. And so you'll notice on this paper there is a white border. I have cut off the white border on 3 sides because what I'm going to do next is I want to back the cover, back this. But before I do that, I want to, right here is a fold line, so I want to fold my tab in here. I'm going to take my bone folder. You know I love to have a bone folder. It just gives me nice crisp folds. And I should mention what the other things that I use. I like a 8-inch scissors. I also have this fussy cut scissors. I really like these. I just got this one. It's really, really nice. I have pre-inked all of my pieces, and I just use a brown ink. This is an acid-free ink, and it is in the color of chocolate brown. Then I have this distressing tool that I use to apply it. And then a hole punch. This is a crocodile. You do not need to go this elaborate. You can just go with a standard hole punch would be just fine. I think that's, oh, and then my favorite glue. My favorite glue is art glitter glue. I like it because it dries quickly, it dries clear. The only disadvantage I see using it is I don't use it for large pieces. Like I will not use it to apply the back of this. I will use another glue here, which I'll show you, because it doesn't give you a lot of wiggle room, like to make adjustments and such. So my other favorite glue for gluing large pieces, because it does allow me time to maneuver pieces, is the Fast Grab Aleene's Tacky Glue. This is nice glue as well, and I like that it comes in a cap that keeps it upside down, so that means I have quick access to my glue. All right, so I've already pre-folded, or folded this edge in. We're going to do that same thing to this side. So now what I like to do is I do not want to cover the back of my flap, because you can, but I choose not to because it just gives it extra bulk. And so what we're going to end up doing is we're going to glue it on like so, leaving the flap out. But we need to flip our paper over, and I want to make sure that my white edge is at the top, so when I apply these I will not have a problem. So I'm going to apply glue to the entire piece here, and we'll put it on like so. And I'm going to use my Aleene's Fast Grab glue. I'm just going to tuck this over here because it's white on white. It's sometimes a little difficult to see. So I want to go around the perimeter here. Put glue in the inside here so that we get a good adhesion. And then I'm going to lay this down on my paper. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and I run it across the paper. So that helps me also to get good adhesion. It spreads that glue underneath there. We'll do the same thing over here on this piece. Alright, we have both of our pieces on our backing paper here. So now I am going to cut these out. just cutting around the design. Done. I'm just going to run my bone folder over this again here, just so it lays, hopefully will start to lay flat here. There we go. We'll do the same thing with this one. Great. Now we have our cover ready, and we are going to grab some of our distressing ink here, and we're going to distress around the edges to cover up any white that might be peeking behind. If I didn't get a close cut, this will kind of cover it up. All right. Now we're going to set these aside. Think about what we're doing next here. Next we are going to start on the back, and so you'll see that I have some tabs here. We're going to fold these. Grab that bone folder and give a nice crease. Alright, now we're going to grab our side panels here, and we are going to glue those, matching up, butting it up to the edge of the tab as well as the top and bottom pieces. And here I'm going to grab my art glitter glue for this. You You can use double-sided tape if you choose, but I'm going to use this. Same thing with this side. Now we can apply our covers to this, and we might have to do a little trim because they are kind of overlapping one another here. So we're just going to trim off just a little bit. So about, I'm going to say a 1/16 of an inch on each side, just a sliver. And then we'll do another test fit. Looks pretty good. Yes, I like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my first piece on. I'm actually going to open up, hold this in here, and I'm going to open the door and keep it snug, kind of open my flap, and then apply my glue. All right, put that back over there. Now on this piece, this is where I want to line things up, slide it down to match up my roof line, my little heart here, my doors, and right there is where I want it. So I'm going to really grab it, make sure it doesn't move, open it back up, hold it down firmly, open my little flap, and then apply my glue. And then secure it down. And now we have a perfect match. If it wasn't quite perfect, I could maneuver my folds here a little bit. I could shimmy these up a little bit if I needed to. So now that we have this piece done, we're going to work on the inside. And well, let's flip it over first. I have my back cover right, or my back pocket right here. And I see I didn't put any distressing ink on here, so we'll do that quick. Then this piece is going to lay right over the top here, and I'm going to match up I'm just going to do a trim. There is a line that's applied when I make the design so you can see where to cut. I am going to do a little closer trim to get rid of that little blue line. And just trim that up, grab some more distressing ink here. Alright, now I'm going to try to match up my little heart here, and then my side piece here will be matched up. And so now to make this pocket, I'm just going to run glue around the edge here on 3 sides. And then I'm going to lay this down, and you see I got it at an angle, and because I'm using the art glitter glue that dries quickly, I want to kind of lay it in here a little at an angle to kind of match things up a little bit before I lay it down totally. Alright, that looks great. Now we will work on the inside here. And my first, before we need to work on the actual flaps that go up and down. So I'm going to move these aside. And so this piece here is going to flip up. So I want to fold in my tab. I'm going to set this aside just a minute. And then we also want to, we're going to put this on the back side, but we need to make sure, so this is going to flip up, so I want to make sure that my chicken is going to be right side up. Okay? And so for this one here, I am going to apply, what I'm going to do is I'm making sure that this bottom edge is right flush to that fold. I'm going to apply some glue to this. Again, I'm going to use my tacky glue. Make sure I have her right side up. This is going to go up. I want her to be like this. Okay. Then you'll notice here that we have a little bit of extra that we are going to trim up with our scissors here. Gonna go So, all right, that looks good. We're gonna set, we can glue this in here now. So to glue this in, we're gonna make sure that we're gonna glue the tab to this. Well, actually, set this aside here a minute. I think we're gonna do it this way. This is the inside panel that's going to, no. Let me peek, because I don't remember. Oh, it's the nester. It's the nester. This goes. The nester is gonna go right, oopsie, right here. So the easiest way, I think, is to gluing this tab to the back of the nester. So we're gonna set this aside a second. This way, that way we can make sure that the tab is right flush to the edge of the backing paper here. All right, so I'm matching up. I am matching up the edges of my chicken pieces to the edges here. The other thing I can do is I can fold these over. It just might help just a little bit in matching everything up. That makes it a little easier to really make sure you have it right in the middle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip this upside down. I know that this is where it needs to be, and I'm going to apply some glue right here. In there like so. All right, perfect. So now this piece is going to lay here. Yes. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. I want to fold in my tab. This piece is the backer for this. And we are going to have to do some trimming on here, I see. So what I want to do is make sure that I have it all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on this piece here, not on my tab. So grab my Aleene's tacky glue. This piece, so we'll have to do some trimming on this one as well. One thing with this art glitter glue is that you want to put this pin back in the nozzle so that it doesn't dry up. The glue doesn't dry up inside there. So I'm going to grab my distressing ink and we're going to apply that to the edges here. Going to grab the middle piece here, and this piece is going to go right here. Again, I'm just folding in my flat so that I know I have it nice and centered in there, and then I'm going to fold him down, make sure that's nice and flush. And then I'm going to grab my art glitter glue and glue this tab down. All right, just like that. Press this piece here on the inside. I think I did the outside, but forgot the inside. This goes like this. All right, so now let's grab our cover piece here, and we're going to lay this inside, and that's going to fit right inside here. I'm not going to glue my tabs because my tabs are going to be extra support for my side panels here, so I'm going to put glue just in the middle section here. Middle section. I'm just going to lift up the side wing and we're going to lay this down. bone folder over that. Great, perfect. So now we're gonna fold these little flaps down, and we're gonna grab our side pieces here. Those are going to fit right here. And I'm just gonna lay this in for a test fit. If that looks good. So I am going to glue my little flap down now. And then I am going to use my tacky glue. Piece. Grab our bone folder and spread that glue around. So it was a little difficult to lay this in because of the fold, but that's okay. Just work it down, grab your bone folder, and run that through that fold. Just like so. That looks great now. And we'll do the same thing over on this side. I'm just going to flip it around. I'm going to lay my flap down first with my art glitter glue. Put the needle back in here quick. That's the hardest part because I'm older and I can't see. Oh, there we go. All right, and then I'm going to grab my tacky glue and we're going to glue this panel down. Right. Lay this down. There we have basic construction of our journal here. Just need to work this a little bit so it lays down nice and flat as can be. Pretty good. Okay, now is the fun part. I call it because it's when you get to put it all the pretties and pockets and embellishments and all the fun stuff. So I think the first thing we're going to do is I have some pockets that I have placed here so I have these pockets that we can tuck right here. Might have to do a little trim on the end. Okay, so I'm going to grab my art glitter glue and we're just going to glue 3 sides here. could choose to do it this way. That's what I should do. This guy goes over here. But you can do it either direction, whatever you would like. Okay. And this one will go on this side. Just making sure that I can still make my fold, so I'm not getting this pocket over too far over into the fold line. All right, so then we have pockets for the inside here, and I have these pockets. I'm going to have this chicken going this way and this one going this way. Then I thought it might be fun. No, that's this other piece. Okay. So here I'm just going to glue these in, and I'm going to glue the 3 sides again. This one. This one over here. Okay, then I have these pockets will go here. So a little white showing there. I'm just gonna distress this just a tish. This one I thought we could put some lace along this side panel here, like so. So we're going to glue that to the back of this piece, and I'm going to use a clear Aleene's tacky glue this time. You can use fabric tack if you'd like. I have some, but this seems to kind of like dry up or get thick, I should say, and so then it's a little more difficult to use. Oops. I'm just going to grab a paper towel and I'm just going to dab the excess glue up here that seeps through the lace. And I'm going to trim this up some. This one. am not going to lay these down here yet, but they are going to be glued right here. But we want to make sure that the lace is dry so that it doesn't stick to our design here and we lose our ability for a pocket. So let me just move these over here a little more. Alright, so I'm going to open this up and we have this pocket here that's going to set in here, and then it's going to be our pocket to put our eggs. Where are my eggs? We're going to tuck our eggs inside here. So what I want to do first is do some distressing here. The other thing that I want to take note of is I don't want my eggs to like fall like really deep inside here to go all the way down. So when I'm applying my glue, I want to put a line right about through here so that the eggs are still going to be visible. So I'm making note of that so I can, I'm going to glue the back side here to about halfway up. And then I'm going to line this up with the image that's on here as best I can. So, and then these little guys are just going to tuck right in there. But we're going to not put them in there yet. We're going to let that glue set up first. Alright, so now on this panel I have these pockets that just kind of blend in. So when I'm laying them down, I want to match up the chickens as best I can. I am going to distress these quick. I hope that you are enjoying the Country Blooms and Happy Hens collection. I had a lot of fun putting it together, designing it. I live on an acreage and we have chickens, so they're a little near and dear to me. So that was one reason why I thought it would be fun to create a junk journal. And then I thought, well, what better to make an actual appearing chicken coop? Looks pretty good. I did the same thing with this one. Just applying glue to the two edges. Up this window box here. There we go. right, so now I'm going to open this up, and we have these nesting boxes here, and I have these little guys. We have some tags that's going to go inside them, and then our little nesting boxes are going to go in each of the compartments here. So I've kind of strategically went a white chicken, a buff chicken, white, buff, white, buff. And so here I am going to be pretty careful when I'm applying my glue here to these. I want to get it as close to the edges as I can, so that when I tuck I have enough room to tuck in my little tags. And then these just get laid in over the top. Like so. Just one left here. All right, perfect. Close that down. I see that there's this white edge here, and I just want to grab my distressing ink and try to get some color in there just to kind of camouflage that white, stark whiteness there. So that'll help just a little bit there. All right. Now, this piece here is where we're going to put our waterfall. Cascading waterfall is what I'm calling it. I'm just clipping these back together so I don't lose them because there's so many little intricate parts here. And so my waterfall is a collection of these little journal cards. I have 6 different ones. And so I'm just going to lay them in there staggered like this, but I'm going to start from the bottom and go up. And each of these have this tiny little tab, and I've already pre-folded all these, so we are going to apply glue to this and then lay these down. So I'm going to when I'm laying these down, I'm looking here at, hopefully you can see this, I'm looking at the sides so that I can kind of get it matched up. And I'm looking at this bottom edge about where I'm going to lay this down. So I have one. I'm just going to go like 1.5 and leave this little space in between here. That's what we're going to do, and then it's going to go down about 1.5 there as well. So I'm just applying glue to my tab, and I'm going to lay this in 1.5-ish, like that. So that will flip up. I'll do the same thing over here. Apply glue to my tab. Going 1.5 and 1.5 or so. Lining that up. There we go. It's our first layer. And then we're going to grab, oops, that's the top layer. I don't want that one. Then we're going to grab this one. We're going to kind of lay him in here like so. And I'm trying to center it as best I can. It's going to go about there. Get my glue on my tab. Here, I think. And then these will go about there. And these I'm going to match up the sides with the bottom row. And I'm going about halfway up the bottom layer, the layer that's underneath here, about halfway up. One here. About there. So there is our cascading waterfall, where you could make a little journal notes on the back, or put little fussy cut images or whatever you would like there. So we're going to work on this piece here. Our glue is dry, so now we're going to lay these in. And so I'm just going to apply glue to 2 sides. This one down. All right. Tucks in here, tucks over here. Perfect. So now is we get to finish the embellishing, and so that's, we're gonna grab our ephemera pieces, like our fussy cuts and such. And so here is my little eggs, and I can just tuck these in here. But you know what might be fun is that I have some of this raffia-ish kind of stuff here. Maybe let's create something to tuck in there as well to kind of poke out, to look like straw. So I'm just taking 3 strands. I'm going to make a knot. To hold them together. Trim off the end down here. See if this will tear. Oops. It just tore right off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten it out some. And I'm just going to make some snips with my scissors. Get this off of there. And snip, snip this. Gonna trim it up just a little bit so that they're all not the same length. And then we can tuck this down inside here. Let's grab this guy. I'm gonna tuck this. Let's pull our eggs out of there. Flatten that, and then I'm just going to tuck this down. I want it on this side. There. And then I can just tuck my eggs inside here. Have some more eggs here. Let's see what else we got inside our little bag of treats. There's another egg. So we should have 5 eggs. And we don't have to stick them all in here. I want to. We'll put 3 of them in there. All right. Then, oopsie. Let's do, move this aside a minute. I'm running out of room. Let's we'll work on our tags here. And our tags are just gonna slide down inside here, and you'll notice it might need a little coaxing. You might need to grab your bone folder just to open up that pocket just a little bit. And then sometimes you might even need to do a little trim on your tag itself if our pockets here are just a little too snug. Okay, so that guy's going to tuck in there. And what I'm just going to trim this just a teeny little bit because It doesn't want to fit in there exactly the way I want, so I'm just trimming off the edges just a tish. And then this is going to tuck in there a lot easier. There we go. So we'll do that with all of these. We'll just, oh, that one fits in there pretty good. All right, so what I want to do with my tags is, you'll see that there's holes here. A lot of people will put ribbon or jute or whatever. Because I want to make this as flat as possible, I'm not going to put ribbon my typical way. I am going to put ribbon a different way. So I have these little pieces of ribbon, and we're going to make like little pull tabs. Like so, and there's just going to be a little pull out like that. So you can use whatever glue you prefer. I am going to use my art glitter glue here. So I'm not gonna like set these, well, we'll just keep working on it. We will probably set these aside before we move on, because if we close it, we might glue our whole journal together. We don't want that after all this work, just to have our journal glued together so we can't open it. That would be not good. So since this is organza, it really seeps the glue, and I'm just going to see if I can scooch this over a little bit, center it up a little. There we go. I'm going to set that one aside because it definitely is could cause a problem. We have this little guy. Let's get this guy back in there. So it's sticking to me. I must have some glue on my fingers. Purple lavender here for this one. I just happen to kind of match up the ribbon colors with the perimeter color of the tag itself. You don't have to. Now I also am offering a print for you version, so you could choose to, I have two different options, the paper kit itself or the paper kit and the items to embellish it up. So the little pieces of ribbon, I will have some Velcro strips, and I have some of the raffia, I have some surprise elements here that we'll show you here in a minute. That just adds a lot of extra appeal to the feel of this farm related piece. Alright. I'm gonna figure out what I did with this. I'm gonna grab a piece here. Right, it's the last one here. Oopsie, that didn't work. Go back down just a little longer here. There we go. Set that aside a minute. Let's grab these other tags I have. So I have 5 other tags, and we will put some more ribbons on. So this one, I am just going to use this little piece of ribbon. I'm going to fold my ribbon in half. I'm going to run my loop through the front of my pole and take my tails and run those through the loop in the back here, and then pull it up, and I'm going to just tuck that in one of these pockets. I have another right here. I have another one, and my ribbons out. Let's see. We are going to so I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Make my loop, run it through the front, grab my tails and run it through the loop in the back. Like that. Tuck that in there. And this little piece of ribbon. Do the same thing here. Maybe this is pretty short. Let's see what we can do here. So now that I just have a tiny little piece of ribbon. I want to dovetail these, so I'm folding my ribbon in half, and then on the folded edge, I'm just going to make a snip up towards the end, and we'll do the same thing with this one here. I'm going to fold it in half. On the folded edge, I'm going to take my scissors and snip up, and there we have our dovetailed ends. And we're going to just tuck this one right there. 2 more here. Let's have a green. On this is organza ribbon, and I find that organza tends to fray. So what I like to do is grab a lighter and just run a flame on the end, just being careful not to singe it. And then we'll do the same thing here. One more. Let's do, I'm gonna do this. Do this one here. Here we go. This one I'm just gonna angle my ends. Oops, just a little more. There we go. I'm just gonna try singeing these just to see. Oops. This one I scorched. Let's try one more time. Not too aggressive there. There we go. I think we're gonna put this one on the back. Oh, or we can stick it right here. I'm gonna stick this one right there. We just need to work our pocket just a little bit. I'll put this one right there, and this can flop down. Oh, we have pockets here to do too, so we'll put some feed sacks in here, and if you wanted to, we're going to take some jute. Try this one. We are going to just run it around the edge, tie a knot in it. I should show you this trick. This is something I learned from a lady who was a kindergarten teacher. To take when you tie your knot, you typically just make one pass underneath, but if you take two, it helps to keep that knot secure while you continue on to make your bow. Here, maybe. I'm making a mess. There we go. It's pretty tiny, so it's takes a little finesse. laying. Let's see if we can tuck that underneath here. That's looking better. There. That looks better. What I'm going to do to help it stay in position, I'm just going to take a little of this art glitter glue and just put a little dot underneath here. Maybe that'll help it kind of keep the bows on the top side instead of at the top or the bottom. There we go. That looks pretty cute. And we'll just trim it up just a little bit. So there is a bow on our feed sack. I'm going to save this one for the back. Okay, let's close this up a minute while we have a couple envelopes to put together. Tidy up my area quick. Okay, so I have 2 envelopes. We have this one here. So you're going to fold in this edge and this edge to go like this, and then you'll fold in the top flap and the bottom flap, and we're going to glue the bottom flap down. And I want to make sure that I'm not going to apply glue to this upper section, so I'm just going to set my finger there so I kind of have a guide. Stick some glue on there and then fold this back up. So, and then that folds down, and where did I have a Velcro closure here. Grab it here. So this has these clear peel-offs here. And I'm going to put that right up close to the little peak, the little point, I should say. I'm going to grab the back side here and pull that off. And then we're going to close it up. So there is our envelope. That's all nicely closed. And we do need to do a trim. Trim that up there, and now we have our closure. Okay. And that can get tucked some inside. I'm going to stick it right back here in the back, or I can stick it this way or this way. I like this cute. We'll do it that way so they see the cute scene. I'll stick it right there like that. All right, then I have another one here, and this one comes like this. I'm going to fold in this tab and this tab, and then I'm going to apply glue to these two. And then I'm going to fold this over. And then this flap folds down, and that makes a nice little envelope to maybe stick a gift card in, or we just need to add a little extra glue right here. A little stingy. I have these little journal cards. They're a little tiny. They may not work the best. These feed receipts can get tucked in there if you wanted to, or just save it for a gift card. This one I am going to stick right here, over here. Like that. Let's open this back up and put our little tags inside of our nesting boxes. This one I need to do a little trim. There we go. Let's see here. We have some more goodies we get to find a home for. To put a feed receipt in that one, and we'll put one over here. I'm going to take one of these little journal cards and tuck over here. I want to change this one to a pink one, not blue on blue. Put this feed sack back there. I'm going to tuck in a couple little sentiments. This one said extra special, sweet and simple. And then I'm going to put this journal card here. This one over here. We'll put the Coop love right up front there. I have these little tickets, and I'm going to stick these in here. Actually, I think we're going to try this. We're going to take two of these and kind of glue them together because they're so tiny. So I'm just going to apply a teeny little glue in the corner and lay this one over the top. To create a larger piece. I have these little stamps, and we could lay these in here. It might be fun to kind of stagger them in the corner there like that. Let's get it right side up here. Tuck those back in there. Let's see, we got two more stamps. We're going to put those on the other side here. couple of these eggs here. We can tuck those inside of our nesting boxes too. Let's take these back over here. What else do we have? So then we have Grandma Martha, Nettie, and Ray. Let's find a home for these. Let me put Grandma Martha here. Kind of like that. I think we're gonna do I'm gonna put Grandma Martha here, I think. Or she can go out here. No, I think I'm gonna put her here. So what I have is some sisal. So we're gonna add some texture to this. And I know it's probably really difficult for you to see this, but it's just fibers. And it's kind of in this color, it's kind of a cream color. And we might just lay this down and then lay Grandma Martha over the top. So I'm just kind of creating a little bundle here. Lay that down here, tuck in all my little ends. Here. It's really difficult to see, but I think it'll just add some different whimsy to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply glue to back of Martha here, maybe, and then we're going to lay that over the top of the sisal. That. And if I have any pieces that are out of control, we'll just do a little trim. I think that looks good like that. All right, so then we have Nettie and Ray. And I think we're gonna just cover up this little chick with these two gals, and we might put our straw bale over here and cover up that basket of eggs. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to lay Nettie down, I'm going to glue her flat. Just cover up that little chick. And then Ray is going to nestle next to her, but we're going to bump her up a little. But I had this Excelsior. This is wood shavings, and I thought it looked, you know, kind of like straw. I just have just a little bit of it here. It doesn't take much at all. Maybe I'm going to use it for this. Let's see what I like. See what I like more. Kind of like that. All right, so I'm just gonna make a little ball of this, and I'm going to put some of my glue down here, and we're going to lay that Excelsior over the top of it. And let it do its thing. Just let that dry some. It's stuck to my fingers. There. See if that'll dry a little bit. And then I'm going to take some foam tape here, excuse me, and we're going to apply that to the back of little Ray. That looks pretty good. And it's just to give her a little height and dimension here. Off, and we're going to lay her on top of the Excelsior like that. That looks cute. Now, what are we going to do here for our straw bale? Should we try to do, let's do another little cluster. What we're going to do this time is that we're going to actually kind of glue it to the back of the straw bale so that these little ends will poke up through. I'm going to grab this piece and I'm just going to lay that down over the top of my glue. Hold it down with my scissors. Let's see what else. Another little, a couple more little pieces in here. There's one. Another. And it doesn't take a lot. It just is just this little element just adds a little extra like real life to it, I think. So here let's see. My glue is still drying. Stick a little over in this corner. Two little pieces here. It's tied up with my Excelsior, or yeah, my sisal. So here I'm just going to put a little over in this corner. Glued to the straw bale. I'll stick that there. And just maybe I'll use my bone folder here. Let that dry some. Piece and stick that in that glue. All right. So now I can put this over the top here, but I am going to use some more of that foam tape. Right here it is, and I'm going to put pieces on. And I purposely took the adhesive and covered up the ends of the Excelsior here, so just like gave a little extra holding power. To peel off that tape. And we'll set this down right over the top of that egg basket, like so. Oh my goodness, that's adorable. Just those extra little elements just enhanced it so much. Oh, that's cute. So here's my original one, and I did stick a little sisal down here, but it's really difficult to see it, but I had raised up a little bit. But here with the Excelsior, it's made quite a bit of difference. What did I, oh, here inside I use the raffia to make a little extra on the straw bale and behind Grandma Martha. And this is also a little tuck spot here that you can tuck in your little ephemera pieces if you want. So, hope you enjoyed this project. Definitely go ahead and make it your own. I had a lot of fun putting this together. The creative, for me, the most part of doing these journals is the creative piece, when I get to really bring it to life. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would really love it if you would do that. I am a small channel and I am really working on trying to grow it. This is the last piece. Oh no, I have one more that I'll be doing. I will be putting together, I have a mini journals kit as well, and they are 14-page mini journals, and I'll be putting them together in a variety of different ways. So in part of the Country Blooms and Happy Hens collection are some interactive pieces. We have the hidden feed sack note card, we have hidden paper clips, we have a Garden Gate interactive pocket folio, we have the little blue Coop, and then finally we will have the set of 3 mini journals. They are, I have them right here. We have a chicken care log. We have an egg collection journal and a farm memories. So I'll be back again soon with another video putting these together. Also, I have videos out there for the other interactive pieces, all part of the Country Blooms and Happy Hens playlist. See you again soon. Have a great day.